Elara returned to the sky lantern. She felt the hush settling around her like a thick, heavy blanket. The usual hum of conversation and the clinking of glasses were absent. Instead, the pub held its breath as if waiting for something unseen to unfold. With Orin attending to something in the back, Elara found herself alone. The low lights from the lanterns cast long, shifting shadows that dance across the empty tables and chairs. Every creak in the floor and every flicker of candlelight felt amplified, feeding an unshakable sense of anticipation. She could feel the weight of the silence pressing in. It felt thick and almost tangible as her skin began to tingle. It was as though the pub itself was aware of her presence, each corner brimming with an awareness she could feel but not fully see. A strange sensation began to rise on the back of her neck, like the faint touch of eyes following her from the darkness. She looked around with a gaze as she glanced over the empty chairs and the ancient bar counter. Although there was no one there. It was only the room's dim glow, the scent of worn leather and aged wood, and the faintest hint of lavender hanging in the air like a memory waiting to be recalled. As she began to relax, lulled by the quiet hum of the city outside, a sound drifted through the pub like a whisper. It was soft and fleeting. It was barely audible, but enough to still her breath. Elara, the voice was familiar, achingly so, carrying the warmth and sorrow of long-buried memories. Her heart raced, a flicker of disbelief taking hold as she recognized it as her father's voice. "Father," she whispered unsteadily, barely rising above the silence. She spun around as she searched for the source but saw only the empty tables and chairs. The shadows deepened in the dim light. Her gaze moved to the lanterns above, their glow flickering slightly, casting an unusual glow across the room. She could feel his gentle warmth wrapping around her, a presence she could almost touch. Memories flooded her mind. Her father's laughter, the comfort of his embrace, and moments of joy. The calm from many years ago. Now, stirring in the silence of the pub, but alive in her thoughts. As quickly as the feelings arrived, they quickly began to fade. Leaving behind a faint ache with a lingering scent of something floral and earthy. A scent she had always associated with her father. Just as the final traces of the warmth ebbed away, Orin emerged from the back. His expression softened when he saw her, the unshed tears glistening in her eyes, giving him all the explanation he needed. "You felt him, didn't you?" he asked gently, his voice a quiet anchor amid her swirling emotions. Elara nodded, barely able to find words as the weight of what she had just experienced settled over her. Why can I feel him here?" she managed, her voice fragile and low. Orin's gaze drifted to the ceiling, his eyes reflecting a sadness that hinted at his own hidden stories. "This place doesn't just connect worlds, Elara," he explained, his voice layered with a wisdom that was both comforting and unsettling. "It connects souls. Those we love aren't always as far away as we think. The sky lantern allows those connections to linger, to bridge divides we thought unbreachable." The words filled Elara with an odd sense of peace, a feeling she had never expected to find in a place so strange, so imbued with mystery. She drew a shaky breath, the truth of his words settling within her, softening her grief. She had come to this pub in search of answers, of closure, and yet she realized now she might have found something far more profound. A door to the past, a chance to feel her father's presence once more. As the night wore on, Elara sat alone, her thoughts drifting with the flicker of the lanterns, each memory a thread binding her to her father, to this place, and to whatever lay beyond. Though her questions hadn't vanished, they no longer felt as urgent. Instead, she felt a quiet, growing resolve. This pub held something far more significant than answers. It held the promise of connection, of bridging worlds and finding comfort even in the darkest of shadows. But deep within, Elara knew her journey had only just begun. The sky lantern's secrets were boundless, and her connection to them was only growing stronger. The boundaries between worlds had thinned. In that quiet, mysterious space, she sensed the beginning of something greater path she was destined to walk and a destiny yet to be fulfilled.